Hello ladies and gents, this is Dewey again. Today we are in a game called Dust, an Elysian deal. So this game is a little bit of a brawler slash platformer, and it's basically made by one guy. And by one guy I don't mean he did the programming and someone else did the artwork. No, he just did everything except for the soundtrack, so that's pretty amazing. And some things he has done a better job than some AAA developers, like this big development houses. For example, this options menu, which you can see for 2D game is pretty advanced, to say the least. He even has a colorblind option, which doesn't do a lot, I have to say. It basically does, it makes your companions say the color of a certain door of the gate. There are some gates in the game, and your companion tells you the color of the gate, which can help in some situations, but it's only for the real colorblind people, I think. But the concept is pretty neat. So the options menu is pretty advanced. There's even an adjust HUD option, where you can adjust your HUD. For example, you can put your health bar closer to the middle of the screen, so it's easier to see, or you can put it larger or smaller, whatever you want. So that's pretty neat as well, which you don't see very often. Now the gameplay is very interesting. You can basically just use your weapon, your melee weapon, and slash through the enemies. But there's also this mechanic called Dust Storm, which is pretty neat to say the least. So what this does is you right click and, well, this works with the keyboard, by the way, I have to say this as well. Basically your secondary attack is called the Dust Storm, and if you hold that, you can do this, which is pretty neat to say the least. And you can also combine this with your companion's projectile, which calls for a projectile storm of a greater effect of that projectile, which is pretty neat indeed. So it's a very neat mechanic, and very interesting, makes the game much more fun, in my opinion. So one thing I have to note about the gameplay is sometimes it can be a little bit easy, because you can basically fly through the air all the time and use the companion's projectile all the time. So it can be a little bit easy at times. So you might want to, at least if you're pretty good at these games, you might want to push the difficulty up a little bit, in my opinion. Because even me, as not really that professional gamer, I found that at times that sometimes it can be a little bit too easy, in my opinion. So keep that in notion. Except for the boss fights can be a little bit more difficult, so keep that in mind. Even though the normal enemies are pretty easy, the boss fights are a little bit more difficult and challenging. There's also challenge modes in this game, so where you can try to get the most score if you want. So I noticed, I told you guys that this game was basically made by one guy, but except for the soundtrack. So the soundtrack is made by someone else, and I have to say the soundtrack is pretty good. It sets the environment very well, I think. In every zone you are in, there's a little bit of different music. It sets the environment very well. For example, if you are down, it plays a very calm music. If you are in the forest and there are a lot of enemies, it plays some more battle-ish music, which is very nice. So now the story is very important in this game. It's a little bit of a mystery, like you want to try to discover who you are, and you got this companion that is helping you discover who you are. The companion is a little bit of the guardian of the sword you are carrying, and the sword is also a sword that can talk for some reason. So pretty weird, but still interesting. The companion is called Fidget, which is a pretty neat companion. As I said, you can combine her powers with your powers, and then calls for this very nice attack, let's say. So neat mechanic. And one thing I did notice about Fidget is most people visit the community hub as well, so I read some things about this, and I noticed that a lot of people hate Fidget in the beginning, but love her near the end. And I had this as well, where in the beginning I was like, oh, this thing is annoying. It's very annoying indeed, high-pitched voice and stuff like that. So it's a little bit annoying, and near the end you basically fall in love with Fidget, and this is awesome, man. So that's pretty interesting as well. So one thing I also have to note is maybe this for some people this might be the elephant in the room. Let's say that indeed pretty much all of the characters are anthropomorphic animals. Some people call them furries, whatever. So if you look back like in cartoons and stuff and very older games and movies and cartoons, whatever, you saw it back then, you see it now, it's nothing different than that. There's nothing going on what you read about the internet about them. So don't worry about that. Even though you aren't a furry, this game is pretty appealing for you. So yeah, this is a bit of an interesting game to see at least, so I'll let you guys hear some of the gameplay itself. So I'm going to shut up for a second and let you guys hear some. So yeah, that's a bit what the game is like and what the sounds are and music and combat. So I explained a bit much all of you, and it also looks very beautiful indeed. So the options, I said, a little bit of a wind up here. So the options, very neat, very a lot of options for a 2D game, not really necessary in my opinion, but very good nevertheless. Gameplay is one of the strong sides of this game. It's very fun, very rewarding, very nice. There's also a crafting system. I have told you guys about that. A little bit of crafting system. You gather materials of the enemies you slay, and you can craft items which would improve your character a little bit. So that's very neat indeed. The soundtrack is very good. It's the environment very well, and the story is very nice as well. So this game is very nice. It's very interesting indeed, in my opinion, and I recommend that you guys check this one out. So anyways, this was 3. Thanks for watching and take care, folks.